It's not how old you are, it's how you are old. Welcome to another DC Fit Channel special. I can't think of a better quote to encapsulate the results of a brand new one-of-a-kind study I want to share with you today. This study took 139 adults, spanning ages 20 to 93, including both active and inactive participants across this broad age spectrum. It asked the question, what are the relative effects of aging and exercise on body composition and muscle function? The results are surprisingly uplifting, but there's one big problem with aging in muscles that even exercise can't fix. I'm going to break it all down in this video. One of the most fascinating findings was how closely the profile of the oldest active group mirrored that of the youngest inactive group. Comparing active individuals over age 70, with an average age of 76, to inactive individuals in their 20s and 30s, with an average age of 30, their body compositions were nearly identical. They were within 0.1% body fat of each other, 27.2% versus 27.11%, and within 0.2% lean mass of each other, 69.7% versus 69.9%. It's rather eerie how closely matched the body composition of an active 76-year-old is to an inactive 30-year-old. Functionally, more active older individuals were fitter, no surprise, but for some tests, it was impressive how closely matched the average active 76-year-old was to the average inactive 30-year-old. I'll emphasize and heavily caveat we're talking averages here, not ultra-marathoners or obsessive gym rats. For the oldest group of active individuals, the average total physical activity was 6 hours per week, which isn't too bad. 3.5 hours of aerobic exercise, 2.5 hours of resistance training, plus 5,250 steps per day. By comparison, inactive individuals across all ages exercised only about 30 to 40 minutes per week. However, an important caveat, even in active older adults, the proportion of time spent resistance training or weightlifting was far lower than aerobic activity, especially in the 40 to 69 age groups. For example, in active adults ages 60 to 69, aerobic training time was 300 minutes per week versus only 70 minutes spent resistance training, including weightlifting. This is a really big deal because the ability to build and maintain muscle mass declines with age when not prioritized as part of a healthy lifestyle. Yes, aerobic activities like running, swimming and biking are great, but it's a disservice to overlook the importance of resistance training and weightlifting, especially as you age. Muscle mass is one of the greatest predictors of longevity and health span. Muscle isn't just for flexing, it's for longevity. It combats frailty and acts as a critical endocrine organ, secreting hormones into the blood, like irisin, which protects against neuroinflammation, increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, key for exercise's effects on neurogenesis, cognition, and reducing the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Having more muscle boosts this neuroprotective irisin and other muscle-derived hormones, broadly called myokines, which signal directly to the brain to improve brain health. In a nutshell, your muscles literally signal to your brain with hormonal chemicals that protect it. Think about that the next time you're doing a squat. It's a butt exercise that's also a brain exercise, quite literally. Muscles are also your biggest sink for blood glucose, helping maintain healthy blood sugar levels, which has a positive knock-on effect for your blood vessels and brain health. So, the keep it simple line here is, don't forget resistance training and weightlifting as you age. You're spotting your future self, don't let them down. There are many approaches to resistance training and weightlifting, but generally, 3 to 5 times per week for 30 to 60 minutes per session is probably sufficient to optimal for most people. Focus on large muscle groups like the glutes, quads, back, chest, and core. I could share my favorite exercises, but how much weight would that carry? Instead, I invite you to tell me in the comments, how old are you, and what's your resistance training or weightlifting plan? Let's learn from each other. I look forward to seeing what you share. Now let's get back to the data from this study, specifically an area where exercise doesn't protect your muscles from the ravages of time, and what might help. Muscles depend on calcium. Calcium influx into muscle cells triggers contractions, but more importantly, calcium influx into mitochondria within muscle cells activates energy production to fuel muscles. The ability of muscle mitochondria to import calcium declines with age, partly due to a decrease in the expression of part of the calcium transporter complex in mitochondrial membranes. This decline contributes to decreased muscle metabolic capacity in an age-dependent manner that sadly isn't prevented by exercise. Like proteins, our ability to absorb calcium decreases with age. often requiring higher dietary intake to meet our needs. Exercise, especially weight-bearing activities, can enhance the body's use of calcium by stimulating bone health. Additionally, the Cerule products like Stem Enhance Ultra, which contain calcium-rich ingredients and aim to support cellular repair through healthy adult stem cell release, may contribute to better nutrient utilization. You can buy Cerule products here at dcffit.cerule.com. Aging isn't an inevitable poison to muscles. Yes, the years take their toll, but like a well-maintained car, your body can run well for 1,000,000 miles if it's cared for. Aging is inevitable, but how you age is largely within your control. Target 6 hours per week of dedicated exercise, plus daily movement like more steps or taking the stairs. Don't neglect resistance training and weightlifting. Building and maintaining muscle gets harder with age, and the best way to ward off decline is to resistance train consistently throughout life. Strong muscles aren't just for aesthetics. They improve insulin sensitivity, support metabolic health, and function as an endocrine organ that benefits the entire body, especially the brain. However, exercise alone doesn't solve everything. One challenge of aging is a decline in muscle mitochondria's ability to import calcium, reducing their capacity to fuel contractions. So I recommend an increased dietary intake of proteins, calcium, and the Cerule Stem Enhance Ultra, Plasma Flow, and Cyactive Anti-Inflammatory, the only products I endorse. So let's keep lifting knowledge together. If you care about your mitochondria, and you should, integrating physical activity into your life is essential. However, they found mitochondrial calcium retention capacity declines with age, even in active individuals, making mitochondria in older muscles more prone to stress that can trigger muscle atrophy and weakness. This decline correlated with markers of muscle mass, strength, and performance, suggesting it's a key mechanism in muscle aging. One exercise can't stop. Muscle health is critical for healthy aging, reducing risks of falls, fractures, and loss of independence, and is linked to longevity.